India now has got 30-day US waiver to buy Russian oil shipments stranded at the Strait of Hormuz. The United States has issued a temporary waiver allowing Russian oil cargoes currently stranded at sea to be sold to India. The US has authorized the delivery and sale of crude oil and petroleum products of Russian origin that were loaded on vessels bound for India. This comes after the White House has said that it is preparing contingency plans to keep the Strait of Hormuz open. Remember, strikes and tanker attacks near the Strait of Hormuz have triggered a shipping gridlock. Meanwhile, Modi government is moving to calm fears at home. Government sources are saying that India's energy position remains comfortable with stocks adequate and replenished daily, and no shortage of LPG or LNG is being reported from any part of the country. But the disruption is already visible on the water. Over 200 ships are stuck inside the Persian Gulf. 150 are waiting outside the Strait of Hormuz, and 38 Indian vessels are caught in the region. As the world watches, the choke points, which are there largely around the Strait of Hormuz, as this theater of the West Asia war is only now expanding.
I don't want to commit to a timeline, but certainly it's something that is being calculated actively by both the Department of War and the Department of Energy. They're working very closely. Both secretaries are in all of the briefings on this subject with the president, and this is, again, something they're monitoring. And if and when necessary, the United States Navy will provide assistance to escort oil tankers through the strait.
We are very excited about the trade deal that is almost at the finish line now, and think that can be the basis for really unlocking almost limitless potential. And so we are very much excited on focusing with India on these economic and commercial opportunities. And so, but again, India should understand that we're not going to make the same mistakes with India that we made with China 20 years ago in terms of saying, oh, we're gonna let you, be able to develop all these markets, and then the next thing we know, you're beating us in a lot of commercial things. We're going to make sure that whatever we do, it's fair to our people, because ultimately we have to be accountable to our own people, just as the government of India has to be accountable to its people.
I think that the more countries try to work together to ensure the continued freedom of navigation, the better. And this is where I think countries that might not want to get involved in any attack on Iran could serve a very useful purpose by trying to ensure that there is no Iranian interference with freedom of navigation.
Let me bring in Pranay Upadhyay, who's joining us live this morning. Pranay, day 7, U.S. military is claiming that overall the number of ballistic missiles being fired by Iran has gone down by 90%. But even as we look at the developments militarily, look at the position diplomatically, and that certainly is a matter of concern for the U.S. with its allies in Gulf saying that they have been left to fend for themselves.
Obviously, the Gulf partners of the United States have their own concerns because they did not get a prior notice. They did not get adequate time. They are fastly depleting their air defense systems, and they do not know how long this operation is going to sustain. But if you go by the recent statement, just a few hours ago, U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth said on record that, in fact, the Iranian ballistic missiles and Iranian drone drone shots at these Gulf countries have actually, pushed them, in the arms of the United States. And in fact, they are firming up to fight along with the United States. And in fact, they are flying together with the United States, offering more bases to the United States. And in fact, if you go by the statement of Pete Hegseth, he said that, there is going to be a dramatic surge the U.S. and Israeli joint firepower over Iran, because there will be a more bomber pulses, there will be more missile salvos, and there is going to be more firing and military strikes around Tehran and the in various other areas of Iran. So clearly, you mentioned about the oil supply crisis. You mentioned about the energy concerns everyone is having, not only India, but the other countries of Eastern Asian region. They have their own concern. You see the market, the way the Kospi market of South Korea, the way Nikkei of Japan is reacting to this energy crisis, because large number of this oil shipments were meant for these East Asian nations. And in fact, there is a building of an energy crisis in the region. And that's why the government of India has also firmed up its energy supplies. It has firmed up its energy stocks. And we do not know, because the timeline, what is now being looked at is over 100 days. And, yesterday when a question was asked to U.S. Secretary of War, he said that we will go as long as it takes. So clearly there is no timeline which is being defined here. And in fact, they are determined to actually dismantle the Islamic regime of Iran. On the other side, if you see the statement coming from Tehran, clearly indicates that if US dare to put boots on ground, they are going to end up into a quagmire.